Let's delve into another aspect of using purposeful partners as a scaffolding in your differentiated instructional classroom. We're now going to move on to application and management tips. You've invested the time to formatively assess your students, interpret the results, and create purposeful partners. Are you ready to go? You might think so, but take a step back. Keep in mind, an inability to manage a strategy is one of the primary reasons teachers shy away from using a new strategy more than once or twice. So what can you do to prepare? Keep in mind your students may be used to selecting their own partner. So when you now are introducing purposeful partners of your own choice to them, you want to be sure to outline and teach the procedures and expectations. During this partnering time, what will the room look like and sound like? You'll also want to post the student pairings where all can see and explain the time frames and post end times, again, in a spot where everyone can easily see without interrupting you or interrupting any of the other pairings. Finally, another before you launch tip is to make sure that you have an anchor activity available that's tied to the lesson's objective. You may want to consider that the anchor might be tiered depending on which students are going to access it. If you've decided that homogeneous groupings are the way to go for this time when you're having students purposefully partnered, a few things to consider. Do you want to provide some scaffolds for some of the students regarding the materials that they're using? You also want to keep in mind that even though they're homogeneously grouped and you might have your lower students working with another student who's at a lower level, you still want everyone working toward the same objective. The beauty of it being differentiated is that they're all working toward and at their correct level of difficulty. As you plan ahead, make sure that you've allocated time for you to be able to circulate and monitor the groups to make sure that they're on task to answer questions that may have arisen, and especially if it's a new activity of partnering for your students, just to make sure that everybody's behavior is on track. If you've decided that you will heterogeneously group your students, you want to clearly explain the role of each member of the pair or the group so that each person understands what their end product will be. You don't want to create a situation where the student, perhaps the stronger student, ends up doing most of the work. You want to have that shared ownership of the pairing so that everybody's contributing in their own way. Again, you'll want to circulate to monitor both the behavior and to make sure that there aren't content questions that you need to assist students with. The graphic to the right here just outlines how you may choose to implement a heterogeneous grouping. It's a pairing device called Slide the Line. You as the teacher, based on the formative assessment data that you collected, would on paper rank the students from those that get the concept the strongest down to those that need the most help. As you can see here, it starts with students that were kind of designated as A level with this skill, then some B level, some more B level, and my picture might be superimposed over some of the C students, but there are also a few C students at the bottom right. So then you as the teacher will cut the line in half and then slide so that the B student here, who was right to the right of this B student, is now partnered with an A student, this B student with that A. In this case, a C is with an A, again, this is one of your stronger C students and one of your lower A students. And then this B student with a C and this B student with a C. Um, Again, just a suggestion of how you might purposely partner if the students are going to be heterogeneously grouped. When partner time is ended, as far as management and application, you want to make sure you allocate some time to review with the whole class what things went well regarding the product completion and also what things went well regarding the process behaviors. Ask for their feedback. They might surprise you and come up with on target assessment of how things went in both regards. And don't forget to give your assessment back to them, both on how they did with completion of the product and on how they did with their behaviors. And finally, remember, the research shows that teachers need to implement a new strategy or tool up to 3 to 5 times before it becomes part of their teacher toolbox. Good luck with your implementation of purposeful partners as a scaffolding strategy into your differentiated classroom.